How are you? How are you? How are you? How are you? All right. We are set to go here today. Can you hear me? I can't hear myself. Hey, what the heck? How about now? 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 Well. I bet you can hear me now. I don't like the echo. Now? 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 I don't know what's going on. Hello. Testing. 1, 2, 3. Well, something's not cooperating. Hold on. Hello there on Facebook. Give me a second. Hello, Brenda. How you doing, cousin? Hello, cousin Torres. Elisa, how are you? I am your, I don't know if it's your aunt or your mom. Sylvia, not Sylvia. Irene, my cousin Irene. Boy, do I miss her. We grew up together. Long time ago. Welcome aboard. Meet your other cousin, probably your second or third cousin, Brenda M. Macias. She's your Uncle Frank, granddaughter. Your mother, Irene, if that's your mother, that would be her brother. Her uncle, your great grandmother, or your grandmother. My mother's brother. I'm going to confuse the hell out of you right now. But hello there on YouTube and hello on Facebook. Can you hear me, Brenda? I hope so. My earplugs aren't working. Give me a second. I can hear myself. Test it. 1, 2. 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 Well, test it. 1, 2. I guess it's going through on. Uh-oh. Something happened. Something went kaput. Test it. 1, 2. Well, we'll go with that. Test it. Test it. 1, 2. Testing. I got my back there. Just in case. Lima, Brenda, can you hear me on there? Okay. Well, I don't know. Testing. 1, 2, 3. Testing. All right. I guess I'm going to. Well, hello, everybody. This is El Primo for Brenda and cousin Elisa. Oh, all right. Thank you, Brenda, for letting me know. I keep having trouble with these sound systems, so just bear with me, okay? Gonna move this thing. I think it'll work perfect, right? Yeah. I'll have to keep an eye on. Can you still hear me? Brenda? Uh-oh. Better leave things well enough alone. Do like I did the other day and mess everything up. Certainly don't want to do that. All right, everybody. Well, for those of you that are coming in on spaghetti pole here, I got wires going everywhere. On YouTube, there we go. I figured out something. I am spiritualist R.J. Sheldon, the psychic and spirit talker, formerly known as spiritualist Joseph here in San Antonio, and known in other parts of the country and a couple of other countries, Germany and France. I have some readers there who attended a party that I was at. But either way, I have many followers. I don't have my website anymore, but fixing to put that back together. An update on my book. I'm already getting pages back from the publisher where they are edited and making my words a little stronger. You know, I'm a little weak on my vocabulary, but they are making them a little stronger and easier for people to understand. Better than my run-on sentences, no quotation marks or anything, no commas or whatever. My sentences just keep on going, one long sentence, forever and ever and ever and ever. But anyway, I'm trying to make a comeback. I've been busy trying to get my car going, but I finally, one of my followers gave me another car. They said, all you got to do is get it running. If you get it running, it's yours. I spent 2 days out there, and I got it running, and I got to give them something for it. It's a beautiful little car. I can't complain. It's free. It's a gift of God, a gift of present. I want to welcome each and every one of you. I am glad to have you here today. Welcome. Well, I hadn't really picked out a story, but let me go into my what I've sent them. Let me pick something out here. Okay. Again. You know, I'm going to tell you the story about my kindred spirit. I don't know if you've heard it, but this took place when I was 3 or 4 years old. I think I was 3. It's the beginning of my book. It's my kindred spirit, according to my grandmother Gonzalez, who would be your great grandmother, Brenda, and actually your great great grandmother, and Lisa, it would be your great grandmother, Perfecta Rivas Gonzalez Macias. My dad was stationed in Camp Walter, Mineral Wells, Texas. Sorry about that on Facebook. The stream went blank for a minute. I got it back. I don't know. Damn AT&T really suck. Anyway, it was in the late 50s. Now, I believe Mom and Dad told me I was around 3 going on 4, somewhere in there. But my dad was stationed there at Camp Walter, and we were living in a rent house on the edge of town there between the base and Mineral Wells. From what I understand, it was on top of a hill. The landlord was there and a couple other ranchers that were up there. And I don't remember a whole lot, bits and pieces, but I could remember as I became a teenager, I remember us having a big cat. So I remember walking up to Mom and Dad one day. We were actually, I think we were having supper or something. And I looked at him and I said, when we were living in Mineral Wells, when I and brother August were little, I had this dream that we had a great big cat and we had these little blue paddle cars that we would go up and down in the driveway. Did we have a big black cat and a paddle cart? She said, yeah. As a matter of fact, my dad said, we had given you and your brother Augie, or Junior, paddle carts for Christmas that year. And on pretty days, we put y'all out in the driveway and they tap up and down the driveway. Of course, you guys were always running into, oh, we had a wreck. Especially your brother. Oh, we had a crash. You would scream and holler, but he was having fun. I barely remember it. But I said, well, how about the black cat? I can remember the big one. It's like I'm paddling in the car. I would stop. She'd get up, walk up to me, and lick my face, lean up against me, and then I'd take off again, and here she comes. She'd walk next to me. And I'd go back and forth. She'd be right there, and sometimes I'd see her just sitting at the end of the driveway. I said, I'm not quite clear on what that was all about. But my dad said, no, we didn't own a big black cat. And Mom looked at it and said, well, we didn't own one, but you had one. She followed you around like you were her kitten. I don't quite understand. Let me turn this light up. Okay, that feels better. A lot. Brenda, can you still hear me out there? Oh, yes. Okay. So, I said, what do you mean? Kind of had a cat. Oops, that music came up while I was, hold on. Well, here's the deal. Your brother would come into the bedroom where we were sleeping, and he would be screaming as loud as he could. The monster in the room is going to eat us. It's going to eat us. My trying to turn off there on YouTube. It's going to eat us. It's a monster. He'd be screaming and crying at the top of his voice. Your dad would get up, grab him, and say, there's no monster. Go to sleep. He'd take him to the door and say, go leave him. He'd come back to the bedroom. And this went on for a long time. And Always about the same time, 2 or 3 in the morning. There's a monster in the room. It's going to eat us. Carrying on, crying, screaming, and all. There goes your dad. Well, Facebook keeps trying to turn off on me. This YouTube sucks. But anyway, thank you for the heart. Cousin Elisa, I guess, hung up on us. Thanks for checking in. So, finally, one night I got fed up. You know, it wasn't every night, most every night. He come in there and he is just screaming bloody murder. So your dad got up and started yelling at me, go to bed, I gotta work, I'm getting tired of this, da 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 da. And my mother said, well, did you bother? Did you even bother to go see what is bothering him? What's making him see a monster? To bed. That's what he needs to. He just needs to go to bed. I got an echo and I don't know what caused it. I do apologize. Let's try that. There you go. For those on YouTube, I had an echo. Facebook, we're good. So, mother told him, wait, stop. She got out of bed, went around him, grabbed him, took him to the room. You know, she's mother, so she's being real nice, she said. So instead of just putting him in the door and telling him to go to bed, she put a light on. And my big black cat was laying there on my bed at my feet. She stood up and hissed at my mother, turned around, jumped into the closet, and went out the manhole, into the ceiling, and out to the vents of the house in the street. Of course, mother didn't see all that. She just used to go to the attic. But that's when they checked it out the next day. She'd been coming in and out. You can tell why my bed was always full of short, black hair, wiry black hair. I couldn't figure out where that came from. I started screaming. She said, and your dad came in there, and I told him what was going on. He couldn't believe it. But he went and got some boards, and he boarded up that hole. And then the next morning before he went to work, he got up early, went up there, and boarded up that. They had broke a louvers. And she may have broken to get in. But can you imagine a mountain lion, big old mountain lion, a Puma, black mountain lion, sleeping on your bed? She could have had my brother and me for supper, and probably the whole family, anytime she wanted. Now, when Grandma Gonzalez, when they were telling Grandma Gonzalez with her and all of them, and Aunt Rufina came up to visit, and I said, well, we were telling your grandma, Walida, about it. She said, that's just kindred spirit. She was just here watching over her cub. Of course, Dad didn't realize what that meant, but Native Americans, they have, some might have an eagle, a lion, a wolf, a bear, a raccoon. Mine was a black puma or mountain lion. A couple days later, the farmers and the ranchers in the area got together. And they shot her and killed her. Mom and Dad said that she was 9 foot long from the tip of her nose to the tip of her tail. Mom says, I even remember one day it was real cold before they killed her. And it may not have been right away when they killed her, but she says, I remember I was cutting up stuff, making supper. I don't remember what it was. But you kept coming in and asking me for a piece. And I'd give you some, and you'd go into the living room, and then I could hear you and your brother giggling, like a couple little mice. Well, your brother Junior was leaning over the back of the couch, looking out the big plate glass window we had in the front. Outside, it was sleeping. And I could feel a little bit of a blast, but I could hear y'all giggling and your brother hollering, do it again, give me another one. And you ran in here where I was at in the kitchen, asked for another piece of whatever I was making or cutting, and you took off the liver. Soggy diaper almost falling off. You got the door open and you're throwing whatever it was to these big black mountain lions. She was still coming to see us, even though we locked up the hole in the front where she couldn't come in. She could have come in there and had you for lunch, and Junior for a snack, and me for supper, pregnant with your brother Tom. But she didn't. So there again, Grandma said, because she was his candid spirit. Wow. So my spirit is the Black Mountain. Well, the time passed, and I'm going to fast forward. I'm going to pass into the future. Fast forward. The year 2000, I want to say 2007, 7, 8, or 6, 7, and 8, I think, was a party Blanca. We were on it together 2 years or 3 years, 3 years, I think. And it was between Rock Springs and Del Rio. And we would go out during the summer and fill up the feeders and put out hay, make sure there was water out there for them all year for the deer. And then in late fall, we'd go out a little more regular. And this, I think, almost last weekend of August, or maybe in the first week of September. But we went out again to check everything, make sure there was food out there for them, put hay in the feeders. Then we all decided, the other guys were out there, and Brother Jerry and myself, we all got talking. What about to the blinds? We're going to spend the night there anyway in the campers. Well, we'll go out to the blinds and see what kind of traffic we have at our feast and stuff. Well, none of us brought rifles or anything to kill anything with, but a couple of them had their pistols and stuff. And we all had walkie-talkies. Cell phones really didn't work out there for good. So we keep in touch with each other in case of emergency. Brother's son, little Matthew, he's just something now, but then he was like 5 or 6 years old, maybe 6. He looked at Brother Jerry and said, Dad, I want to go with Uncle Buck. My nickname is Buck. He said, well, that's up to Uncle Buck. You got to ask him. I said, I don't mind. He said, well, he knows to behave when we're out in the deer blind. I said, I'm fine with it. I said, come on. So we went to climb my pickup. And we all said our hasta la vista, see him a little bit. And we're going to stay out of the blind until sundown and then head back. So he brought his little figures, Superman and stuff like that. And he set up on the floor of my blind. I had a pull-up flap for a door and you crawled in. You couldn't stand up and walk in, and then you would set the flap behind it and then. But it was almost 100 degrees that day, so I opened all the shutters so I could look out and left the flap tight open. And he sat down on the floor next to me, and he was playing with his little figures, whatever they were, Superman and all that. And then all of a sudden he starts shooting in the leg, and I'm like, Andy, what are you doing? Uncle Buck, she going at me. She's staring at me. She's looking at me. Who? Her. She's gonna eat us. What do you mean she's gonna eat us? So I couldn't see out unless I bent down from my chair, and I looked out. And by then he done screwed it in front of me, between me and the wall. Out of nowhere, there it was, the Black Panther. Big girl, or big guy, I think it was a girl. I shut that shutter as quick as I could. I put the latches on it, and I tied it real good, and I shut all the louvers. My blind set at the edge of a cliff, had two legs in the front that went down to the bottom of the cliff, and then the back of it sat on the cliff. It was secured on the cliff. So, wasn't no way for us to get out. If we jumped out the window, we'd have to fall down onto the bottom of that cliff there. So I got the walkie-talkie, and I kept calling Brother Jerry. I said, hey, we got a problem. Jerry, we got a problem, answer me. He finally answered back, and what's going on? I said, we got a black mountain lion sitting outside our camper. Our deer blind. Maddie saw it. Then I looked back out. He asked me if she's still there. She was when I checked a minute ago. Let me look. Well, I don't see her, but doesn't mean she's gone. She could have busted through that door at any time. They're hungry. They're not going to. She could have busted through that door. She could have jumped in and grabbed Maddie and drug him out before I could do anything. But then I heard her growling, and then I heard her, and she's rubbing up against the post, the leg post of the deer blind. Bear with me, my Facebook fell. What's wrong with you? Hey. Facebook keeps trying to turn off. It says that my internet's not working. Brittany, you still there? So anyway, the damn mountain lion, I looked out of the front shutter. I looked down, and she was down there rubbing herself up against the pose of the deer blind at the bottom of the cliff. They were about 15, 16 foot tall to the bottom of the deer blind. But I could hear her growling and purring and just rubbing up against that post. And then she walked away and left. She was gone. All I can say is, a friend of mine, we were talking about that particular story, and she turned around. She's a friend of the family, the one giving the car, her and her husband. She said, it was your candid spirit to come back to see you. I looked at them and I said, well, I didn't think about that. She could have drugged my nephew out of there or jumped inside the deer blind and tore his vocal cord and had us for dinner and lunch. But she did. In fact, she was rubbing all over the post of the deer blind and purring like a kitten. Kind of like what I used to hear when I was little in the paddle car. So I guess I did have kindred spirit out there, or do have. Well, after that, my employment changed and I had a stroke. Had to get off the deer blind. So I don't know whatever happened to that mountain lion. She's gone now. Well, I'm gone. She's gone. I'm just not there no more. But my book is based on the things that I saw as a child. My cousin Brenda, that's on Facebook right now, her grandfather, John, my cousin, my age, well, he's about 2 or 3 years older than me, but he's from the same generation on my mother's side. There's 8 of us that have this capability, and it comes from our Native American blood. That's where this comes from. And it's very strong. But 90% of the people out there have the ability to see things coming or witness things or even see things that from the past. And I need to jot something down because I just remembered something from the past. I hope I can remember it and write it in as well. Back in I want to say the early 2000s, when my Bobby was in junior high, or it may have been early high school, we were going to church. Our church is St. Mark's downtown Episcopal Catholic, but we're Episcopalian Catholic. But she was on the choir and practiced. They practiced in the evenings on Wednesdays at school. So they would make a little food there for the kids to munch on for supper while they're there. And we could stay and enjoy that, or Tuesday night to go do something for an hour. And so her and I decided to go walk around that River City Mall or whatever they call it downtown. We hadn't been there in ages, so we decided to go walk around, see if there's something to eat there. When after we got to walking around, we couldn't really find anything to eat, so we started back out. Figured, well, we'll just stop on the way home, pick something up. But as we come out, the door in the back, facing Alamo Street, we were between the mall and the hotel there, the oh my God, I can't think of the name of that hotel right there. Been there for over 100 years. Teddy Roosevelt spent the night there. Other people. But anyway, we came out in that alleyway. There's some shops there. And we started walking out close to. I stopped. I didn't tell Susan anything yet, but I stopped and I went into one of my, whatever you want to call them, daydream or whatever it was. And I'm just standing there. And Susan said she was talking to me, but I wasn't answering her. But I saw a man running, trying to catch up with a lady. And I looked, and the lady was right there in front of me. And he's yelling, Maria, Maria. As another man comes up from the side, it's like a corral with horses, so I think it's like a stable. Big, heavy set, nasty looking. Mexicano, I don't know if he's Mexican or Texan, but definitely was speaking Spanish, pot belly. And he's yelling at her, and this guy's running, Maria, Maria. Quarterly, run! And she was trying to run, I guess that was her husband. And this man kept hollering at her, Párate, father. Maybe it was her father, I don't know. But he shot her dead right there. Right there in that alley, she fell flat. And I woke up. I snapped out of it. She was yelling at me, "What are you doing?" Damn. I wish I could look that up. See who that was. Her name was Maria. Don't know the last name. Don't know what the young guy's name was. I don't know if that was the husband or boyfriend. Maybe that was the father trying to stop her from taking off with the guy. You never know. What happened to our great grandfather, my grandfather, Solomon Muscat? He died trying to stop my mother's half sister from leaving with a 40-year-old man. She was only 16. He shot my grandfather in the back. Killed him. Your great-great-grandfather, Brenda, up there. Hi, Sarah. How you doing there? That's my niece. I hope everything's well for you. Can you hear me? I was just telling a couple of stories out of my book, my upcoming book. I already got a publisher. They already sent me the cover. And these are the pages they've already edited. Up chapter 6 already, or no, 5. I got to hurry up and write some more. I'm working on chapter 7 and 8 right now. But it's called The Unknown at 10, The Experiences of a Boy. My logo is From Beyond the Natural World and the Need to Know. That was when I had my website. I'm going to reopen that website. During COVID, I wasn't getting any clients coming to see me or calling. So I didn't want to use my personal money to pay for it. I would use the money I earned to pay that $80 a month. When that money wasn't coming in, I couldn't say paying for the website. I should have kept it though. Now they're over $100 for the dang website. Foolish of me. But money was tight. But anyway, well, welcome aboard, Sarah. Hope you can hear me good. Let's see here. I just told a story about my kindred spirit, which was a Black Panther, who come visit me when I was just a kid. And unfortunately, I wrote my book. It was in handwriting. I liked first of myself. And the publisher is doing it in Roman print. I prefer my handwriting. The transcripts I sent them are in handwriting. But that's okay. I just paid him the last little bit to do the editing and the publishing. Now they wanted me to consider the promotion. Promotion is almost $3,000. I told them I don't know if I'd have the money to pay for promoting it unless they could do a payment plan. Be nice. Montes, how you doing, Montes? Good to see you out there. Can you hear me? I was just telling stories from my upcoming book. I don't know if Chris shared it with you, but the publisher already sent me a new cover. This is going to be the outside cover of the book. I'll make sure and invite you to the book signing, huh? They seem to think it'll be a top seller. I hope I can sell at least a couple of them anyway. You missed the stories I was telling. Let me see here. It's Saturday. I got time to share another story out of the book. Here's one. 1970 or 1971. I was 16, I believe, 15 or 16. Or it might have been a little older. But that had to have been because Sam, one of my friends, had just left for the Navy. And Mom and Dad had some kind of get-together on it was birthday for one of my younger brothers and sisters, or if it was 4th of July or what. But they had a barbecue, and of course, Tom and my brother and I, we had a lot of friends. Sure enough, there was Chris Farr, Sammy's cousin, Ronnie Young, also Sam and Chris, and my very close friend, Ray, and there was somebody else there. Ray, Ronnie, Chris, me. I don't know, his brother Tom, or it seemed like there was one other fellow there. But after we all got through eating, we grabbed a glass of Mom's good old iced tea and climbed in the back of my dad's pickup. And Ronnie pulled out his pack of Marlboro. Oh, we're all right, light them up. So we were sitting there drinking tea and smoking the Marlboro. And we thought we were big shots, hoping that Mom and Dad wouldn't walk out and catch us, eh? About that time, I believe it was my friend Ronnie, bless his heart, he passed away about 3 years ago. Had cancer. It's a shame. Already lost several of my friends already. But anyway, he said, guys, or y'all, something like that. I don't remember the exact words, but as he say, he said, guys, guess what? And I kind of looked at him, what? No, he says, do you realize we are going to get to see the turn of the century? What? What do you mean? What? Well, think about it. Our grandparents, most of them, got to see 1899 to 1900. Well, I think my grandfather was born in 1898. Grandma was born in 1902. So I said, okay, well, my grandpa, and then he says his grandfather was born just for the 19th or 20th century. And so we all kind of, wow, everybody kind of had something to say. And he says, I bet we'll all be living in buildings, towers like the Hemisphere Tower. And I'm thinking like, what? And I don't know if it was Ray or one of them said, why would we be doing that? Well, because the ground's probably going to be too polluted. So we'll have to be living up there like the jets. And we'll probably have, and this Chris, I think it was Chris, said, yeah, we'll probably have flying cars by then like the jets. I'm just sitting there looking. Ray come out and says, well, I don't know about that, but that would be cool. Or that would be awesome, something like that. He said, but why are we guessing? We got the psychic right here with us. What do you see, Bob? What do you mean, what do I see? What do you see? Oh, I don't see much difference. Cars look about the same, a little slimmer, a little smaller, a little more streamlined, Space 8 like, you know. And what else? I said, well, we're living in the same kind of houses. You know, they don't look any different either. Wow. You ain't much help. I said, well, I mean, you asked me, and that's what I say. I said, well, there is one thing. Well, maybe two things I see that are different. The person that's driving, I can see him reach over, put a silver record in the dashboard of the car, and he's listening to music. A little silver record. It's weird. Oh. One of the guys said, oh, man, you're stupid. Another one said, they can't play records on a car. You can't play records in a car. How are you going to do that? I don't know. But it's like a little silver record, and he just puts it in the car, and it starts playing music. Ray looked at me, and he said something like, no way. I said, well, that's fine. But you know what else? I see him driving and listening to the TV screen on his dashboard, and the voice on there is telling him where to turn and where to go. And he's just looking at it. And it's talking to him. Oh, man. What do you got in that TV, man? A talking TV. You can't have a TV in the car. It's against the law. I said, it ain't against the law. Well, there ain't no way you're going to have it. And then it talks to you. Come on. You know, stuff like that. And they were making fun of me. I was stupid. I'm dumb. Whatever. Well, let's fast forward. 2009, I think it was. Yeah, 2009. I bought my Town and Country van from Ray's car lot, my buddy Ray. In fact, I bought several vehicles from him because they were always good, and he always gave me good deals. And I always stood behind him. And he called me one day and told me that he had an awesome little minivan that he wanted to know if Susan still wanted another van. So I mentioned to her, and we went out and got it. She fell in love, and we built on it. It was 2007, it was 2009. Barely had 78,000 miles on it. It gave me a good price. So I took it. Still driving it today. Well, transmission went out, but we're waiting to get the mechanic's going to rebuild it for me. But anyway, where is it going with that? Oh, so I go in on a Saturday. Normally Ray wouldn't be there, but his sons would be there, Brandon and Billy, the older one. And Billy pretty well took care of the office to take payments, and him and Brandon would go out and sell cars, and then Billy would do the contracts. Great kids. Ray had some great kids. We lost him in 2013. A heart attack here. Very good friend of him. But anyway, I went in. I said, knock, knock. He said, what the hell are you doing here? I said, what are you doing here on Saturday? I said, where's Billy? I was going to make a payment. He said, I'll take your money. Billy don't need to take your money. I can take your money. I said, well, okay. Just come in and make a payment on the van. And he was carrying on. He said, come in. So I sat down. We, said, how you doing? How you been? And all that. And I gave him the check. And then to get the receipt, about that time, his son Brandon, the younger one, came to the door and said, Dad, he had a little box, not very big, but full of CDs. He said, Dad, this was in the trunk of one of the cars you got at the auction yesterday. What is it? Well, it's full of CDs, different kinds. Any country, any Classic rock, classic country? No, it's mostly hip hop and stuff. Oh, I don't want to do that. Bobby, you won't want that. No, I'm like you. I like my classic country and my classic rock. You know, chunk it unless y'all want it. No. And then you start to walk out the door. Oh, whoa, wait. Brandon, throw me one of those. What? Which one? Is anyone just throw me one? Well, he threw one in the cover, and Ray caught it. He said, Bob, heads up. Well, he called me Bubba. Heads up. Oh, there's your, well, I'm going to say damn record, but that's not what he said. He used that place. There's your blinking record. I said, that's not mine. It's a CD, but it ain't mine. What do you mean it ain't yours? That's no, I didn't say it was yours. I mean, he says, you don't remember, do you? I said, remember? Yeah. We're sitting in the back of his dad's pickup. I don't know, 70, 71, somewhere back there. But we're all sitting back there, you, Ronnie, me, Chris, there's somebody else. Yeah, I can't remember that other person right now myself. And, well, you said, and we all made fun of you, that they will be playing in the future records, silver records in the dashboard. There's your damn record. It's silver. And if you stick it in the dash and it plays music, you saw the CD in the 70s. Huh. I said, I'll be damned. You're right. He said, one more thing. And he reached into his desk and pulls out a screen about that big, plugs in the cigarette lighter. You know what this is? I said, GPS? Yeah, but it's a TV screen. Basically, you plug it in, you put it on the dashboard. But the new cars come out with it built into the dash already. And it tells you where you're going. And it talks to you. You were right. People do drive around in the cars telling them where they're going, where to turn. It was GPS you saw. But that was 1971 or 72. I said, yeah, a little while back. Not everything I see is evil or dark, and I see a lot of that. You know, it's nothing like being a kid, especially when I was a kid, and I'd be sitting around, everybody be busy doing something in a different room, mom and dad doing their own thing, you know, carrying on, and all of a sudden you hear something in the back of your head.
Don't be scared. I just want to play a game with you.
Well, I don't want to play.
Hey, don't you run away.
I'm not running away.
Stay with me.
No, I don't want to play with you. I don't play with you.
If you don't come play with me, then we will kill you.
You think so? I tell you, sometimes you hear the strangest things back there.
Knock, knock. Who's there? You're a nightmare.
My nightmare? I don't think so.
Knock, knock.
I don't see you.
Knock, knock.
Again, go away.
You're a nightmare.
Yeah, you already told me you were my nightmare. When you're 10, 8, 9, you hear stuff like that and you're sitting by yourself or in your bed, all you can do is cover your head and hope to hell whatever it is goes away. Do you tell your parents? Tell your mom? They ain't gonna believe you. They're gonna tell you don't watch scary movies anymore. That's what they'll do. You know, when the back of your head on your head, when the hair in the back of your head stands up and you feel like, oh, what was that? You had a visitor. It was a spirit somewhere up there trying to talk. I get a lot of people here that come for closure, family member passed away, unexpectedly, something happened, they're gone. All right, guy, go to sleep. Quit trying.
Knock, knock.
Again?
What's there? You're a nightmare.
No, you're not my nightmare. Go to sleep. She's just as silly as a box of rocks, ain't she?
I've been watching you.
Well, I've been watching you.
I know what you've been doing.
No, you don't.
You can't hide from me.
I do.
I'm always here, even when you're asleep.
I know. Well, glad she's gone. Again? Go to sleep. Well, you turn it down. So, my book is about the things I went through as a child, and now as a no part. Things I went through as a teenager, a young adult, and now as an old fart at 73 years old. Montes, I'm glad you stepped in. You can watch some of my previous podcasts on YouTube under R.J. Sheldon. And I'm going to start doing my birthday wishes next Monday or tomorrow. I'm going to start doing the birthday wish. I'm going to try to do them in the evening. During the day, people are too busy to participate, but invite a friend. And I'll be reading out of my book by Jill. I forgot her last name already. But it's an astronomical astrology book, and it talks about your sign. You know, your sign is determined at the moment you're born. It's based on the position of the sun at that moment. And it's also known as your sun sign, your zodiac sign, and your astrology sign. And I will give the definition of your sign and your, whether you're Aquarius, Capricorn, or Scorpio, and all that. Now, based on the date you were born, I'll tell you what you can expect in your life for that date. See how close it is. So I look forward to that, getting back to that. I've been so busy trying to get my vehicles going. Montes, a friend of mine, gave me a PT Cruiser, so I'm working on that. Actually got it going already. Need a couple of new belts and stuff. Tomorrow I'm going to try, or next day, go get the license plates on it and have it ready for when she comes back from Boston. She's over there visiting my daughter, Brenda. Bobby. Anyway, that's my book. They'll own it 10. But if you know anybody out there that would like to come see me, come get a reading. Hi there, niece. Annie Gilbert. Amy Gilbert. Cousin Brenda, that's your cousin. Montes is a close friend of, and a very close friend of my son Chris, your cousin. And Sarah is married to your cousin James. And this is my oldest brother's oldest daughter, Amy Gilbert. You know, your sister, Linda, is married to a Gilbert. Sorry, it's been a while. Don't be sorry. I see you on Facebook all the time. It's always nice to have you aboard. But these are your cousins, and every now and then you'll see one or two on here. And I'll try to point them out when you're on here. I'm also on YouTube. And you can invite friends. Starting tomorrow, I'm going to start doing my birthday wishes again and reading from my astrology book. My family vehicle's been down, the van, and transmission was out on, still out. So I've been having to work on that. I've not talked to Linda in years. Oh, okay. Well, she married a young man by the name of, his last name was Gilbert. I don't know if you know that. Don't know if they're still together, though. I can never keep up with everybody. But welcome aboard. I'm glad to see you doing better. I think you had a deal on Facebook the other day with a dog, a small dog. I believe that was you and your friend. Hope you guys are still together and having a great time together. Awesome. I'm a minister and I do, yes, your puppy, yes, very pretty little puppy. Yeah. Are you still together with your friend? Your partner? Well, for those of you on YouTube, be sure and join in tomorrow. I'll let you know what time. I'm thinking I'll do it about noon, 1 o'clock, for birthday wishes. I don't want to do that late in the day. But on Wednesday, I'll do my regular psychic podcast. And if you come in on YouTube, you're welcome to ask a question and I'll answer you back. Even on Facebook, if you have someone that would like a psychic reading, I'll be glad to do one for free. But if you'd like to come see me and you're in San Antonio, you can call me for an appointment at 210-416-4538. If I don't answer, just leave a message and I'll get back to you with an appointment. Or you can email me at psychic or Joseph at yahoo.com. My mind went afloat. But this keeps freezing, so I'll chat later. Sending hugs. I appreciate it. I have AT&T, and excuse my English, sucks. But I also had Spectrum and the other one. They just as bad. They told me I need to get on muscle. That one is awesome, but it's also expensive. I'm a cheap old man. Maybe I'll start getting some clients. I can do that. Well, thanks for checking in, Amy. Uncle Buck loves you. Take care of yourself. And those of you out there on YouTube, those of you on Facebook that took the time out to be part of my audience, part of my excuse me. I appreciate you. I look forward to being on here again and sharing another story with you as I write this book. I have to have it ready and have it published before Halloween. That's the agreement I have with the publisher. And everything they've read seems to make it feel like it'll be a great selling book. So all I can say is wish me luck. It's all stories about my psychic adventures as a child and now as an adult. As I said, some were spooky, some were not. Go away. I tell you. Go away, little girl. I don't care. Go away. Listen to her carrying on. She's as silly as they come, you think? Well,
I've been watching you.
yeah, I've been watching you
I
too.
know.
Well, I'm going to call it a day here. Ooh, I got a crown. Look at that. That's my friend sitting on the table back there. I don't know if you could see her. It's a crystal head. Right there. And for you on Facebook, on YouTube, she's right there. Crystal head, give him some light. How about that? I want to say thank you to each and every one of you. I hope to see you again soon. Uh-oh. Something happened here. That scared the hell out of me. Whoa. All right, guys. Y'all have a good night. Till next time. Good night there on YouTube. Till next time. Get you on the flip.